Hello everyone and welcome back to the second part of my discussion with Richard Thompson. Today we will take a closer look at how technology providers contribute to and support the industry recovery from COVID-19. It's not only about the CTX machine and the security scanners, so I would really love to hear if you could tell us about the programs that you have initiated or you have them going on in terms of how to help and what is now that you can offer as well.
So certainly I can talk about a couple of those. Maybe a tangible one, which we jumped on pretty quickly, was the trays that you take when you're going through a security checkpoint have always been known to be a haven for infection. So I think airports anyway recognize that they should be keeping the bins or the security trays that you take clean. Mm-hmm. We were aware that ultraviolet light is highly effective at disinfecting trays up to a very high level, in excess of 99.9%. So we started in March, and by April we had a number of trials in the field for an integrated UVC disinfecting module, which basically you install on the tray return system, and we've designed it so it can fit both our own lanes and also a number of third-party lanes. And it doesn't slow down the lane. There's a lot of safety concerns that you have to ensure you're complying with, to do with the emission of UVC light, because it's pretty dangerous stuff. It's very powerful, it's very effective, but you have to make sure it's fully enclosed and follow various IEC standards for the design of this. But that's been a success. We've had orders from Gatwick Airport, have installed these as well. We've got trials running in Canada, in France, in Portugal, in America, all over the world, in fact, Korea. So this is just one element. It's a fairly simple thing, but it's one element which we felt would help airports give confidence to passengers. Listen, you don't need to worry when you're picking up this tray. In addition, I don't want to go back to CT, but if you have got a low false alarm rate, if you're, in other words, not having to divert and recheck so many bags because you've got good technology, that means the staff as well are not having to open up the bags and touch other people's belongings and interact.
Correct.
It's as hands-off as it possibly can be. So that's one element. Related to that, there's the holy grail of passenger checkpoint screening for a number of airports is to move to alarm-only viewing. So you're aware of this, I'm sure, but 100% of images in checkpoint screening should be viewed and cleared or rejected by a human.
Correct.
And so they have to look at 100% of images. With hold baggage, however, because of the level of technology, humans only have to look at the images which the machine says are suspect and make a decision on them. So that's the regulation. But the technology's come on so far, both in terms of conventional algorithms for detecting explosives, but also with artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning even, on detecting prohibited items using not just the X-ray capability of Z effective and density and material discrimination, but actually using artificial intelligence, such as you would find in driverless cars, etc., to spot threats. So object recognition and the processing power and the resources available now, the number of third parties that have been coming from different industries and can develop these algorithms highly effectively really offers a big opportunity for airports and the industry, such as Smiths Detection, to go to the regulators to run trials and say, listen, our technology is now so good that you could consider alarm-only viewing at the checkpoint. And in the context of COVID, it's still in a discussion phase and trials phase. But if we could reduce the number of bags rejected from 15% down to 5%, then again, you're meaning less hands-on interaction from the staff, less inconvenience for the passengers. And that all helps in terms of reducing transmission rates and increasing confidence of passengers while they're traveling.
It sounds like a really interesting stimulus, obviously, apart from the reasons why these conversations are maybe gaining pace now. But do you reckon that this is actually something that with the regulators and using this health and safety leverage, certain processes will be sped up to actually get them implemented more widely and in a more common manner as well?
Yeah. And the other thing is, in our discussions with the regulator, it's not just Smiths. I think as an industry, all of us in this sector of detection and screening through the industry bodies are engaging with the regulator and with the airports, saying, listen, this is a natural next step to investigate. Obviously, maintaining or improving security levels, but at the same time, technology is now so good that we can actually improve efficiency at the same time. And the other element that's come in is that we are working with partners that we've not worked with before. So big IT companies ranging down to startups, as I say, and the concept of open architecture, which ultimately will offer airports more choice to mix and match different vendors, can also help here. So this is security again, Hubert. So it's not the Wild West. We can't try stuff out, when we're dealing with such a sensitive and important function. But we're working with what we would refer to in a responsible way with open architecture to allow third parties who traditionally haven't been involved in aviation security to partner with us, because maybe they're fantastic at detecting, umbrellas or certain illegal wildlife or something, or an area where typically we haven't focused for the past 50 years we've been in business, and maybe they're more agile. So we're looking to constructively engage with these companies, and this can all help lead to enhanced security, but with that processing power and that algorithm programming capability, we should also be able to improve the passenger experience and the operational efficiency for the airport.
Absolutely. And I think one of the key enablers in this case will also be the aspect of cybersecurity, and obviously how to protect the algorithm and the application of AI or machine learning for any potential interference, which could actually, hinder its efficiency.
Yeah.
So I believe that's almost like a separate umbrella for this topic.
It is. But that's why I use the word responsible. And it's frankly why it's taken a long time to come to our industry. So open architecture is a concept in many other industries which has been around for decades. But the sensitive nature of what we do, obviously there have to be a lot of guarantees and evidence to demonstrate that it is completely secure from all sorts of levels. But cybersecurity is obviously a key one.
Very good. Do you have any other programs apart from it? Just out of curiosity, really, because I did hear about the UVC tray sanitization as an integrated part of the lane infrastructure or architecture, if you like. But just I'm not so much aware if there is anything else that was maybe sped up, as the result of the current pandemic.
Yeah, while we build equipment to be as reliable as possible, I think one other program which we have sped up alongside artificial intelligence, remote screening, UVC, these elements as well, is asset performance management. So, again, if you look at the grand challenges which most customers would like to achieve, as I say, is to get the false alarm rate as close to zero as possible, to have operators only looking at suspect bags, not at every bag. But the other thing that they would like is to have zero unexpected failures or downtime. So, we've taken the last several months, while maybe some of our projects have slowed down in terms of the implementation phase, to use this time to invest in really refining our predictive and preventative maintenance capabilities. So particularly on CT machines, we've got dozens and dozens of sensors recording everything from vibration, humidity, temperature, you name it. And all that data, that rich data, can give us the ability to predict if a part is wearing or if an X-ray tube is imminently going to need to be replaced. And I mean, it's not a surprise, I guess, to understand that if you can deploy an engineer automatically to go and replace a part when the airport's shut at 2 a.m, it's a lot less impactful than if you do it in the middle of, first wave at 5 a.m. So we've been investing in our asset performance management across the whole range of our products. So extending it from whole baggage machines, checkpoint machines, trace detection, all the different parts of the lane and the machines which we supply. So I think that's, although this has been a terrible time for the industry, it has given us a moment to take a new perspective on which elements of our technology portfolio are most important to help customers recover as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible, because the ripples from COVID are going to be felt for another 2 to 3 years, as we all know. So there's going to be such a focus on bottom line that we think, both as our responsibility to the industry, but competitively speaking, that if we can focus on what the customer pain is, what the biggest pain is at the moment, which is efficiency and ultimately passenger experience, then we should be doing our bit.
Absolutely. And I think it's a very positive message, really, given what is going on at the moment, when it's so easy to think that nearly the whole industry came to a stop, or is struggling, or is surviving. In the background, there are so many processes, programs, and initiatives going on to actually help bring the industry back up to speed and help and recover. And it's a very good message, and I think it's also a good time to maybe close on this positive note before we delve into some other aspects that are not so positive. So from my side, I would like to thank you again for joining us, to let us know about everything that you look after and what we can expect in the maybe months and years to come. But before I let you go, however, there is a little tradition that we have in our podcast, which is asking you for a couple of highlights or the key takeaways from our today's discussion. So if you would like to crystallize and summarize what we have covered, that will be great for our listeners as well.
Yeah, problem. The key takeaway is the crisis which has hit our industry has meant much more considered, maybe less rushed, more strategic conversations, not just with our customers, but with even our competitors through various industry bodies and with new third parties, as I mentioned. So I think what might be initially considered as a huge amount of pain always does have a silver lining somewhere. So I think the sort of collective response means that where partnership is a word probably used too often in the past, with as good intentions, I do genuinely see strong examples of partnerships really taking form and on paper between customers, between new third parties, and as I say, collectively as an industry body, we see a more common voice as to how can we all help recover this industry. So that's one thing, and the other one is, I think the point I just mentioned, it's necessity is the mother of all invention. Really, it's necessary for us to reevaluate what is going to help our customers, and that gives us this different perspective on really articulating the return on investment in very concise and crisp terms. And that return on investment can be that you can improve your operational efficiency at the checkpoint by 22.7% or something, and this can give you a return on investment of so many months. These conversations now happen the whole time, whereas before it was a bit more, well, I need to have this equipment for regulatory compliance. What's the cheapest price that you can offer? So that it has forced a change and made the industry wake up to true partnership, I would say, whereas before it was a bit bilateral in many tenders and so on. We are seeing, as I say, much more reasoned discussions about the whole of the aviation industry is in a crisis. We can't continue to just have I win, you lose. It has to be we all somehow have to win. We have to somehow. Otherwise, this is going to last for a lot longer than we want.
This is amazing. Thank you very much, Richard. And again, thank you for joining us today. So take care, and I hope we'll have a chance to speak again.
Thank you, Hubert. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for listening. Stay safe and well, and we hope to see you next time.